agree you've had a big impact on the game today, but if I could take you back to sort of 48 hours, how are you feeling? You said before you don't want to play anymore if you don't feel you can be at your best. How close were you to sort of making that decision?
Well, probably until the morning of the game, I probably wasn't in the team. I was a bit sore after the last game. Obviously, hadn't played in 6-7 months or whatever it was. Put a lot of effort into that game, and I just pulled up pretty sore. My side was a little bit achy from the game. Obviously, that was the main problem from before. And honestly, I had a bit of like DOMS in my legs, so delayed onset muscle soreness in my legs. I was just stiff, basically everywhere, a bit stiff and sore. And then the morning of the game, I sort of spoke to the captain and the coach and said, "Look, it's your decision, but if you want me, I'm ready to go." So I couldn't guarantee them that, you know, I could bowl 90 mile an hour on my 4th, 5th spell, but I'm glad I made that decision because it's gone well today.
Have you changed in that regard? Like in the past, do you think you've been keen to just get on the pitch one way or the other, and now you try to be there if you can?
Yeah, I think I'm a bit older and wiser, so I've been through periods where I shouldn't have played, where I did. At least 2 test matches which have hurt my career, which actually made me take a step back. So before the game, it was a case of, look, just be honest. I've worked really well with Chris Silverwood as a bowling coach, so it was just being honest with him. He knows what it's like, and just said, look, I'm not quite sure how it's going to go, but I felt good in the warm-up. If this is good enough for you, then I'm ready to charge in for you one more time.
And on the graphics and everything in the websites, you're still listed as a bowler. Do you need to update the score around it?
No, absolutely not. Still a bowler. It's just nice to slog a few. I was probably more pleased with the Nokia over the over where I had to play him properly when I was batting with Woxie, because that was pretty quick. So I was pleased to get through that and hang around with Woxie for a little bit, and then it was just good fun with Brodie at the end.
Nick, that dismissal of Malan Ball's time of 94.4 miles an hour, which is the second quickest wicket taken delivery by an English bowler. Is that kind of
Who was the quickest?
You know who it is.
some broken arms?
The Asherton lads again. The Asherton lads.
Is that the best ball you've bowled?
I don't know if it's the best ball I've bowled. I know that with me, it wasn't technically a wicket, but my first ever wicket was a Martin Guptill ball at Lords, and that was actually very similar, and I was actually over the line, where I was pretty close this time. But nice that I got just a tiny bit behind it. It just seemed, it's weird, like, since I've changed my run-up, things just seem to click a little bit easier. I'm not forcing it as much, and I feel like I've got better rhythm. So, plus having a iconic stadium, a quick pitch, it gives you that extra little incentive to try and impress.
George,
You said there were a couple of tests that you maybe in retrospect. Could you tell us which ones those were?
The 2 I can think of off the top of my head would be Lords against Australia, 2015, and against South Africa at Trent Bridge.
The back-to-back one.
Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have played that game. Yeah.
I mean, is that one of the most pleasing things that you have been able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, let's not speak too soon. We're only halfway through, but I think obviously it's pleasing to be able to all the hard work I've put in behind the scenes, and obviously you're looking at my body type and you're thinking I could snap at any minute, but I've put a lot of hard work in behind the scenes. The physios have been excellent with me as well, the management. I think the captain and coach were maybe looking and thinking, do I need to play with my history? Would it be wise? But after bowling well in the last game and being in good form, and I think the nature of this pitch, I think it suited me altogether. So I think that's why I got the nod. Otherwise, if it had been another pitch, maybe like Port Elizabeth, then maybe would have rested me and looked at a different option.
just with that wicket, the first one, it kind of opened up the game. You know, the South African openers had been looking pretty secure and sort of digging in, but that extra pace, I guess, is the reason why you're in the team and the reason why you broke the game open.
Yeah, and I think in the last game I was more pleased with the fact that I felt me and Bessie bowled well in a partnership, and I felt today as a unit collectively we bowled really well. I know obviously it was hard to get that first wicket, but I felt like we kept the pressure on them, even though they didn't look like maybe getting out. We didn't let them get away from us, and we kept the pressure on that way. And then I just tried to bring a little bit of energy when I came on, maybe something a bit different, and try and create an atmosphere and a different feel to the game. And then when that wicket fell, it was especially pleasing because then it made us think back to the last game where maybe helped Bessie get wickets, and then this time Woakesy, Brodie, Sam helped me get that wicket.
Chris, Will, and then we'll do John.
Mark, what would helping England win the series here mean to you personally after everything you've been through?
I want to affect games for England. I think it would mean a hell of a lot to me. Obviously, it's something that you aspire to do, is affect games. It was nice to get some runs as well, and last game take some catches. I know my main suit is my bowling, but it's nice to affect the games in other ways as well. And to be able to win a series here away from home against a quality opposition would be especially pleasing for me after coming through some hard times.
Mark, I know you joked about just slogging a few and you had a Test 50 a couple of years ago, but have you worked on your batting while you've been injured, particularly maybe when you weren't able to bowl and practice?
Yeah, I did a lot of work, not just behind the scenes at Newcastle Indoor Centre, so I wasn't actually at Durham. I did a lot of work behind the scenes there on the bowling machine, sometimes with my dad, sometimes with my wife. She would feed me balls on the bowling machine, and I would try and... I knew that obviously we were coming here and it was a bit bouncy and things like that, so I've been working on how I thought that they would attack me, either at the stumps or at my head. So I've done quite a lot of work on that, even in the nets and with Graham Thorpe on my balance. And if you were to watch a net session, you'll see that Chris Silverwood gets pretty happy when I come in, because it means he gets to bounce me for half an hour. So I've tried to work on it. I think it's obviously a work in progress. I think the confidence of being in a good space mentally with my bowling is helping my batting, because it means that I'm going out there thinking, look, I can deliver. So it's helping both suits, I guess.
Who's a better coach, your wife or your dad?
It's a tough one, that. Probably my dad.
John,
Can you believe just if you're 86 the last two?
I know, I'm pretty happy with that. I was absolutely buzzing with the one over extra cover or point. Internally, externally you have to act all professional now, but internally I was like, what a shot that was. So I was trying not to look too buzzing with that.
No, your dad's name? What's your dad's name?
Derek,
And I'm sorry, your wife's name, sorry.
Sarah.
Also, would you have played if Jofra had been fit?
I don't know. I mean, that's probably a question for the management. I think if on the morning of the game he was definitely going to play the 2 days out. He looked really good in the nets and stuff, and it was probably me that was going to miss out because I was sore. And then it was a sort of role reversal where on the morning of the game he was still unfortunately feeling his elbow, and I felt good enough to play.
Game of finish off.
If you're practicing a short ball and your wife's feeding the bowling machine, does she enjoy making you feel uncomfortable when you're batting?
Yeah, she's laughing, telling me to get in line and stuff like that. Yeah.
Did she pin you at all?
She got me a couple of times. My dad as well was particularly spicy on it. I thought that he'd maybe... Chris Silverwood's the worst because he laughs when he hits you. You think the coach would be a little bit more supportive, but when he gets you, he's like, he's still got a fast bowler in him, I think.
Woody, outstanding.
Nice one, thanks.